This is the series of batteries, the Excel series of batteries. We have, of course, the original, not really original, we've made lots of improvements since it first came out, right? But this is the Excel on the rightmost side. And then we have the new start-stop technology batteries, the Excel EFB and the Excel AGM. So these are primarily for start-stop automobiles, but you can also theoretically use them for conventional vehicles with a caveat that there are certain technical concerns that need to be addressed. That's why what we normally recommend, and we'll go into greater detail later, recommend that for EFB should be for OE EFB automobiles, and that AGM should be for OE AGM automobiles. Now, I'll turn it over briefly to Ray to discuss some of four of the many innovations on the Excel battery. Please go ahead, Ray.
So good afternoon. So our new Excel, first it comes with the envelope cascades. So the technology there is that so that it would put the charge better and allows for prolong the life. Also for the redesign negative grid, so our technology there is continuous cast grids, and that would allow better current flow. And for our separators, it is we are now using high function resistance separators, so this would protect the plates from short circuit and from extreme road conditions also. And the anti-sulfation rich electrolyte, which we added some additives with our electrolyte, so it would be more tolerant to tropical climates.
You may ask him what some of the things after the rest of the presentation, but rest assured he is heavily involved in the was heavily involved in the development of this, but he's also involved in the monitoring of the development and the continuous improvements to our line of batteries. In addition to improving the technology for our Excel series of batteries, we're also continuously keeping track, and it's a bit of a chore, right, of the sizes that are needed. As you know, more and more vehicles are coming out with different sizes, trying to find the best way to fit that pesky battery which is needed into the space that is seemingly getting more crowded and smaller. The more electronic components there are, the more sensors and so on. So we have here some of the sizes that are available, but we are continuously adding more because there is an ongoing need to keep track of what has come out and develop, if not an existing battery, then to create new ones to fit those vehicles. So this is our GIS sizes, our bin sizes for the European Excel customers, and similarly for our Excel EFB customers, we have also the following more common sizes for the Excel EFB. Now, above and beyond yung technology ng mga batteries namin, right, which we're pretty proud of, we also, because we are an engineering company, we put these things to the test as well. So, what we'll talk about are two types of tests that we subject our batteries to, especially in this most recent batch. We subject them to lab tests, which are performed at our state-of-the-art facility in a hidden location somewhere in Bulacan. Nobody, even if you ask them, will tell you. I'm sure they all know, right? So I'll turn it over again to Ray to explain to us what the tests are, and then Jerome will take us through the meanings of some of the test results.
For the first test, actually this is light load endurance test, or this is the LLET test. The other name for it is life cycle test. So this simulates the charge-discharge cycle of a battery. Also that for several cycles, it's 280 cycles, which takes about a week to complete. And should last based on what the standards provides or requires for each type. So, yeah. So,
Okay. So, tatayo ako ah. Sensya naman lang. Doon sa mga hindi masyadong technical, ako yung pinaka-rapid. Alright, so, having said this, sabi ni Sir Ray kanina about LLET test or LCT test or the life cycle test, sa pinakamadaling maintindihan natin lahat, ito yung simulation na pang start, stop, ng kotse. Hindi say you're cranking, you're drawing power. So, ito yung test na ginagawa. Internationally, kung titignan niyo yung green line dyan, that is the acceptable number of cycles a battery should perform. So, let's start with the smallest one, yung NS40. NS40, ito yung mga sizes na para sa mga Vios, yung mga Mirage. So, ito yung pinakamaliit, yung mga 1SM na sinasabi. Sa dami kasi ng market, ang daming tawagan dyan. May JIS, may DIN, di ba? I mean nga, meron pa kaming B20 or alternative nomenclature na. But here's the thing. Okay, not to take you too much on the graph, but here's the point. We tested it with several competitor batteries. We won't mention them. As you can see, the leading battery that they had, okay? So we started this 2018, 2019. If you'd see the leading batteries, the orange one and the yellow one, out of 2,500 starts and stops, their battery died. Okay? Yung technology ng Excel, the green one, this one behind me, this is just the green one pa lang not this one pa. The first time that we started testing it, it was already almost 2 times the leading, or the other brands or the competitor brand that we're actually promising. But, we didn't stop there. So, akala nagka-pandemic na nahimik kami. No. We did it. We improved it more. As you can see here, from the latest test namin, ng 2019, we actually tripled the longevity and the power of the new Excel. Wala pa kayo naman po. So that was how we do our testing. So, if you go on to other slides, so the bigger one, the NS60, our competitor is only at 3,985. We are already at 3,966 cycles.
Wow.
So again, Sir Alex. So, 1SM, palaki ng palaki. As you can see, may competitor pa nga kami, wala pa nga sa standard niya, bumagsak na eh. Then you have 8,500. Yung gray, this is ours We developed the Excel twice in the last 5 years. Kasi we were not contented with this. So, imagine niyo yung 8,500, sino mga naka 1SM dito? Alam ko si paano naka 1SM to eh. Imagine, we doubled already the battery life. Over the past 5 years that we've been improving on this. Sir, next slide please. 2SM, ito na yung mga pick-up, andyan na yung mga Navara, yung mga D-Max. Sirs, 5,280 from the competitor. Motolite is at 13,920 life cycles. This test, again, ulitin ko this is the standard acceptable test worldwide. Sige, go, next. Ayan, 3SM. Ito medyo, hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari dito na eh. From 12,000 last 3 years ago, yung 2020 test namin went up 2 times already. Okay, this is the latest one that we have. It's already at 21,000 life cycles, 3SM battery. I believe we had the last event, puro 3SM ginamit namin doon. Later on, we'll go through that. But imagine buying a battery, okay, twice the committed power. Twice the committed life. That is what Motolite promises our motoring community. Sir Alex? So, we also tested it already. So, kanina nakita niyo yung mga B20, yung mga 1SM, 2SM. Those are Japan sizes. Yun yung mas common sa atin before. But, since the economy is booming, we're all leading to this technology that we have. European cars are coming in easily. Sir Robbie na lang, ilang taon lang Pinapatakbuhan Land Rover. They have been using the bin sizes for the longest time. But what was the problem? The problem was there was no sizes available for the Philippine market and acceptable for them. So, having said, we tested them already. Okay, hindi na namin sinabi competitor because we already know. We are twice the promise of their power. So that's the DIN 65, DIN 55, 66. As you can see, twice almost. Next, sir. The DIN 85. Ang acceptable cycle is 5,000. And up to date, Sir Ray is still testing it kasi di pa rin niya maubos-ubos yung baterya. So that's how committed we are in improving the Philippine-made batteries that we have. Okay? So next, sir. The same. Ito is a DIN, ano? Yeah. So 6,000, it would be 16,000. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Next. Now, the one that you saw kanina is called life cycle test. Okay, that's for the ordinary batteries. Now you have EFB. Why EFB? Anong difference? The difference kasi between an EFB battery and your ordinary battery is that you need to draw more power doon sa mga ordinary batteries. Unlike EFB, ano yung measurement nito? Ang measurement nito is how long will it be discharged. Why? EFB, well, technically, it's for start-stop vehicles. Alam niyo naman ang start-stop. Hihinto sa traffic, namamatay ang makina. Pero bukas ang radyo, bukas ang aircon, bukas ang wiper, bukas ang headlight. So with this test, as you can see, brand A, after only, how many cycles is this? Less than 400 cycles of drain. Okay, bago ko i-dalhin dyan, a battery kasi is considered to be at full charge at 12.6 volts. Okay? Any 0.2 na bawas dyan, that means to say, for example, 12.4 volts. Ang understanding na ang acceptance subjects that it's already at 75% state of charge. 12.4, 50% state of charge. 12.2, you're at 25%. So by the time na umaabot at 12 volts at flat, charge your battery already. Have it charged. Have it checked. But as you can see here, ang measurement ito, how many cycles does it take for your EFB to go down 11 volts? And as you can see from the results, brand A, brand B, and brand C only reach to at least 450 cycles. But Motolite Excel EFB almost at 600 cycles before it even reached 10.092 volts. Ganong katagalin bagong EFB.
Jerome, may I ask for the definition of EFB? Is that just a fancy acronym or does it actually stand for something?
It stands for something. It's called Enhanced Flooded Battery. Flooded. Flooded. Baha. Enhanced Flooded Battery. So, gentlemen, with these tests, from your ordinary state-of-the-art battery hanggang sa EFB, we did this. Sir, next slide, please. Okay. Now, of course, we had our lab test. But we also have our field torture test. How did we do it? I think the best explanation here will be the recent events that we had for off-roading, which is basically two things, two items. You have the Philippine Overland Expedition that happened October, and then the last was the Kings of Riot. That was November. That was November. Now, here are some stories, no? Like for example, sa Philippine Overland Expedition, competitors came to me and said, ibang klase yung battery ninyo. Sabi ko, bakit sir? 10 minuto na ako nag-winch. Double winch pa yung kotse ko. Hindi ba umiinit yung baterya niya? That's just one. This one here, his name is Claude Torres. He said that he was stuck in the mud for more than an hour with his lights on. Nakalubog ang battery natin. Guess what? It still started. Also the same here. As you can see, the battery was also submerged. For how many minutes and yet it started. I think I have a witness here. I think Mr. Neil Palapit was actually here to see that. So there you go. From our lab works all the way to field torture tests. I believe, and we believe as a team here, we had already presented to you reason to believe why the Filipino ingenuity still surpasses other brands that are being imported here in the Philippines. So with that, okay, let's talk about the differences between Excel. You want me to discuss it? Okay. I'll turn over the microphone again to Alex to discuss to you the difference between your ordinary Excel to the EFB and then later on with the AJM.
Thank you, Jerome. So, you may be wondering what the difference is between our Excel and Excel EFB. The Excel EFB is actually a step up from the Excel. While the Excel delivers a lot of power, we had some additional improvements to the EFB that grants it a longer life cycle. These are only some of the simplified explanations behind the features of the Excel and the Excel EFB. But first and foremost, I think that it's important to highlight that these, like the maintenance-free batteries of Motolite, right? These are all tropicalized. What does that mean? Batteries are sensitive to temperature, and in the Philippines, the temperature is very punishing. So, a lot of the engineering that goes into the manufacture of our batteries is trying to figure out how they can survive given the heat under the hood and the heat under the sun. That being the case, we have the high purity electrolytes that are in both of these batteries. They reduce the water loss that you know for the venting, and of course the self-discharge that takes place even under these really high temperatures. The thick full frame positive and negative grids are there for optimal current delivery. And of course, there's the added improvement of the endurance of the batteries themselves and resistance to corrosion at high temperatures. As the temperature goes up, the more sensitive the grids are to corrosion. So these are two of the innovations that we have for both of these batteries. Now, as Jerome mentioned earlier, there is the Philippine ingenuity, but of course we did not do it alone. We listened to the people who know batteries also. So we have actually German consultants that we have consulted with regarding our battery technology. We asked specifically not just what is the best technology out there for batteries, but what is the best technology for batteries here in the Philippines. Because, to be honest, they were the first people to tell us that you can't build it like you can for North America or for other countries. You have to focus on the best performance band for your specific needs, what's it like on the road, and what are the temperatures like in your battery. So with that, they taught us certain things, including how to create the special paste formula that increases the tracking capability and the endurance, the cycle endurance of the batteries. They also looked at the stud fitting elements for the cell designs so that there's less sensitivity to vibrations on our sometimes paved roads and cemented roads, but sometimes during the year, especially just before elections, kailangan ayusin bigla. Diba? So it's specially designed to deal with that strange seasonality that we have here in the Philippines. And then of course there's impact resistant all-weather casing with covers. So for all to allow it to fit into a lot of things, which is something that the Germans are well known for. They try to systematize everything. So we got that from them also. We also have longer life because of the glass mat laminated separator envelopes. So these ones are things that secure the active masses. And it tends to prevent shedding, right? So it really avoids the, even with the discharge, it prevents that shedding, which affects the life cycle of the battery. What sets aside our EFBs are the additives to the electrolyte and the paste, both of which prevent the deep discharge short circuits that can affect the battery and the battery life. And they also slow down the self-discharge rate. So the battery really lasts a lot longer. So if you're looking for the power and the general longevity, you're looking at Excel. But if you really want an extended life cycle for your battery, depending on what your needs are, then you're looking at your EFB for the start-stop. Next, we'll take them into the 8 differences between the EFB and AGM Excel batteries. So, and I'll ask for some help here on the technology side, but in general, what we're looking at is you may see some people use or tend to use these two interchangeably, but at Motolite, we recommend that you take a careful look at your vehicle. For us, which has always been one of our focuses, is you try to make sure it's the best battery for that particular type of vehicle. So not just the size, but the type of battery. There's no need to overpower it if you don't need it. Right? It's just, it's extra money. But if you anticipate you're going to need extra, then you have to pay for extra. The difference between these two is that the Excel AGM, and AGM technology in general, is more sensitive to higher temperatures. Okay? If you look in terms of hot climate and water loss at 40 degrees Celsius, AGM tends to be fair. We don't have exact numbers here because it's a general thing for the technology, but we're looking at finding metrics for it. But this is because, and I think you'll have it, by the way, more details in the articles that we provided to you regarding the differences between Excel and AGM. The AGM is sensitive every 10 degrees Celsius, right? That the temperature increases, there is a detrimental effect to the battery. So for that reason, you will tend to find your AGMs, one, inside the passenger cabin, right, where it's not directly exposed to the heat of the engine, or if it's actually somehow it's actually in the back, or it's just because it's meant to be in a vehicle that's in a colder climate, right? Unlike the Philippines, which rarely, actually I've never experienced a below zero, below freezing temperature. So that means that you have to be very careful about interchanging EFB and AGM. EFB tends to perform better in the hot climates because of the flooding technology. However, the AGM is obviously, because of the glass mat technology, it is less, it has no problems actually with spillage. Right, because all the electrolyte and the liquid is absorbed into the absorbent glass mat. So if you're going to look at replacing your battery, take a look at what the original equipment was, EOE, right? And if it was AGM, use AGM. If it's EFB, use EFB. No? Unless you're absolutely certain and you've had technical expertise with it, don't just swap them interchangeably. They're not meant to necessarily perform in the same environment that other batteries are. Yes.
Alex, may I ask what does AGM stand for?
It depends, right? But in general, it's either absorbent glass mat or absorbed glass mat, depending on the country that it's in. But in general, it has that glass mat technology, and it absorbs the electrolyte. So that means that there's not that liquid that's sloshing around inside the battery and will not leak.
Thank you.
All right. So and then before we transition over to the services, right? We just wanted to mention that obviously these are covered by Motolite's warranty. Now, here is where it gets a little bit confusing because unlike the normal maintenance-free batteries, there's actually different numbers here for the months of warranty. We have what we call private conventional, which is the number of months for private use in conventional vehicles. So for Excel, EFB, and AGM in sequence, that would be 24 months, 27 months, and 24 months. If it is in a start-stop vehicle, because start-stop vehicles are more punishing to the batteries, that becomes 12 months, 18 months, and 21 months. And then for commercial use, which tends to be heavy-duty use every day, then it becomes 8 months, and 9 months, and 9 months.
So thank you, Jerome, Alex, and Ray, for sharing your insights and technical information. Before we move to the second half of our talk, are there any questions from the audience regarding the Motolite's products? Any questions? No?
As in two.
Oh.
Si Andy,
Andy?
available. Yes.
May take us a little bit longer, but we can get it.
We can get it there. Yes, sir, Mike.
Yes. Who determines the warranty period? Is it the dealer or is it the customer?
Actually, it depends kasi sir, pagka halimbawa yung customer talaga privately owned lang yung sasakyan, we already know that it's actually private.
Okay.
So, and then once it goes there, and then all of a sudden, yung kotse niya start-stop battery, we have to let him say that, okay, you have to get an EFB for your longer warranty. Kasi normally, yung customer comes in naman, they declare now whether it's a Grab taxi or they use it for commercial. So, definitely the dealer naman will be the one to actually say that.
So the dealer will determine what warranty will be
Yes,
given.
yes.
It's not according to the price of the battery.
No.
So there's one price for XL24 for the different warranties.
Yes. There's just one price for that.
Depending on the size.
Yeah, depending on the size. Depending on the size. Yes, sir.
Would you make AGM batteries for motorcycles also?
Magaling.
Alex, I'll leave that to you. Ano gusto mo sa rin?
Tagal na namin na
Kasi we're going to open
We can
something.
either confirm or deny.
But honestly, we are looking into the proper sizes talaga for all of this. It's a matter of prioritizing the demand, right? And then we also have to, one of the things na isunod din sa amin ng mga German consultants is optimizing yung manufacturing line. So, as we identify what are the priority sizes, we also have to go back and see how we can make sure that one, we can ensure the quality that we're looking for, and two, so that it can be produced on a regular basis without interrupting the existing production lines. But we are looking into it, and I can't really say. But we are, motorcycle batteries, we're definitely looking at not just India, but the rest of the expanding.
Yes, sir.
Yung Excel is available po ba siya for brand new cars lang or yung mga old school?
Even, sorry. Yes, sir. Available siya even for old cars. In fact, doon nga sa mga older cars na mga friends or common friends that they require more power, we always recommend Excel talaga. So, regardless whether 1960s pen or
Okay.
it's fine. It's fine. Wala pong problema. In fact, sabi nga natin dito, if you even use the Excel EFB in an ordinary vehicle, the warranty is longer, 27 months. Okay? Questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Siguro, gentlemen, I would like to add lang the differentiation of the brands. Again, kanina sabi ni Alex, yung use ng battery. If you'd see, karamihan po ng mga gumagamit ng AGM, i-emphasize ko lang, bakit yung mga ibang battery nila either nasa loob ng cabin, nasa ilalim ng upuan sa likod, or nasa trunk, and they are AGM. One thing na pinoprotekta ng mga designers dito, apart from the climate, okay? Again, they use AGM in colder climates, yes. But we brought it in, we produced it here para doon sa European market natin. However, if you would use, okay, flooded batteries inside your cabin, remember, hindi nyo maiwasan na magkaroon ng gas buildup. So yung flooded batteries, they tend to have gas buildup. Now, kung papansinin nyo, again as an example to some of my friends some of our friends sila, Andy, how come yung mga European vehicles sila, pagsakay mo, bakit ang acid na amoy sa loob, parang minsan masakit sa mata. Ano gamit ng battery? They're using flooded batteries for supposedly AGM batteries. Okay? So yun yung logic behind that. Now, yung core strengths lang naman ni EFB is that it's more heat resistance. And pansinin nyo nga, even the design of the manufacturers, why did they even place the battery inside the cabin? Again, kung titigan na natin, yes, it's quite fair. Pag nilagay mo sa engine bay, that's fine, it will work. Pero it would be best kung yung AGM mo is talagang design siya nasa loob ng cabin or nasa loob ng truck. Okay? So, any other questions? Yes, sir.
Are there extra precautions we should take if we use battery tender with this battery tender? Yung mga C-Tech, like with these particular lines.
Well, actually, sir, these are all safe with battery tenders as long as you have that limiting voltage. Medyo special itong si AGM kasi acid start na lang. Makatago lang yung acid na doon, so sakto lang siya para doon sa system niya. So, if you mataas yung pagka walang limiting voltage yung battery tender mo, it tends to overcharge this battery and it dries it out and it kills it faster.
Kung may AGM mode yung tender, okay na.
Yes sir, kung may may AGM option siya, okay naman siya.
More questions from the floor?
Just not just the prices, the difference.
Market. Price difference. Price difference. How?
Yeah, for example, one size.
Yung size
It changes kasi depending on the size. I think rather than
Let's say 3SM.
yung 2005.
May mas ng 3SM siya.
Baliktad yung
Malaki.
basta baliktad
So yung difference is not that far from
3 liter.
Wala pa AGM. Wala pa AGM.
For EGM, sir, we have yung mga high types, with 66, 55, 77, and 88.
the rest of the sizes ginagawa pa na.
Yan sa price.
Sample, sir, is within 55, we have it 16,000 as well.
60.
Not 60.
The competitors are imported brands. They sell it at around 80 to 25,000.
Yeah.
So eventually, again, we are trying to give the Philippine market the best battery that is available. Like I said, there's a pricing, there's a quality. That's what we're doing.
Any other questions?
Yes. Any other questions? Before we move on.
We can move on to the next topic, which is apart from pricing. I mean, we can tell you that we are fairly competitive amongst importers. And what puts us ahead of them? Diba? Aside from the product, aside from our product. So I think Alex will take that already. Services.
We'll take on the services, but our natural lead in from the services, into the services, is first a discussion on what we mean by our national warranty. So with that, we'll turn it over to me to discuss the warranty.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. More than our products, it's our actually our services that make us different from other brands. So with our national warranty, kahit saan po kayo masiraan here in the Philippines, you just need to present your sales invoice and your warranty card and the dealer where you kung saan kayo natapat na diagnose yung battery and defective. As long as it's within the warranty period, they'll be willing to replace your batteries. So anywhere in the Philippines, we have this national warranty. So ayun, if ever naman nasa bahay kayo and hindi kayo, let's say, makaalis, it's because the previous day, nasabi na namin, hindi siya na defective yung batteries ninyo. You can call our hotline, where discuss din natin Sir Alex later, yung Motolite Express. So we're just one call away. you can contact us through various channels. But yeah, we're just one call away po if you need to contact us.
Thank you. Before I proceed with the second half of the presentation, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the Motolite editor of Daily Tribune, Mr. Ronald Ray Rosales, Ms. April Salazar of Manila Bulletin.
Mr. April.
Oh, Mr. My apologies. From PTV4, Ronald Mariano, Mark de la Cruz, and Ronald Fernandez. And as a correction to my earlier introduction, for the typo, the producer of Motolite today was Ms. Jenny Pineda from Sunshine Television. So, let's go on with the second half. So thank you, Jerome, Alex, Ray, and me. I would like to add Ms. Catherine Bayona, the head of rescue training and e-commerce operations, to join the panel as we discuss the various Motolite services, which includes the rescue app, the Express Hatid service, which is now available on FB Messenger, aside from their usual hotline, and a quick rundown of Motolite's comprehensive nationwide network of outlets. So,
First, thank you, Steven. So, first off, obviously one of the problems that you have when you need that warranty, it might be that you need the warranty but you're not near the outlet. Unfortunately, that's usually the case, right? So we don't try to hide obviously from our customers. In fact, what we're trying to do is to give you as many options as possible so that if the unthinkable happens and it strikes you and your vehicle, you have a way to contact us. Now, the ways that you may be familiar with are our hotlines, right? And of course, going to the outlets, but we have other options such as our Motolite Rescue app. Obviously, other new options for Express Kid like our Facebook Messenger accounts and other social media accounts. And other options that we're exploring like our website. However, before we get to that, we would like to be able to discuss with you what does it mean when you contact us and you send some of our rescue riders over. What is that? What is the service that you should be expecting? So would that turn that over to Kat? Ayun.
Hello everyone, good afternoon po sa inyong lahat and thank you for being here. So to discuss our rescue services, actually it's available in Metro Manila. We also have in Baguio, in Benian, Dasmariñas, Cavite, San Pablo, Laguna, Santa Tomas, Batangas, Santa Cruz, Laguna, Calicanto, Batangas, and San Fernando, Pampanga. So for our rescue po, you have to download and register sa ating Motolite Rescue app. Available po siya sa Google Play and App Store. So when you download, it's actually available 24/7 dun po sa mga areas na nabanggit namin. And you can actually book for services such as the battery replacement if you need a new battery, battery checkup and jump start. We also have overheating assistance, flat tire, and emergency refuel. So lahat po yan available when you have the app. In times or in cases na hindi po kayo makapag-book ng app, you can actually call our hotline here in Metro Manila, 8370-6686, and we'll be the one to contact po kung saan area kayo inabutan ng emergency. So we are open 24/7 po sa ating hotline. And if you don't have a landline, but you have your mobile phone, you can reach out to us through our Facebook page. So lahat po doon, sorry, natitense po ako. Okay. So pag sa Facebook naman po kayo nag-reach out sa amin, in less than 15 minutes, meron po sasagot sa inyo na agent and tatawagan po namin kayo to assist you with your requests. Also with rescue, we always make sure na we train our technicians based on standards and also the tools that we use lahat po siya de calidad because we don't want to cause any damages po sa inyong mga sasakyan. And not just that, we also make sure na the way our technicians and our representatives treat our customers, lahat po talaga yun dapat quality. Because we believe na sa business po, any kind of business, even sari-sari stores, hindi naman po talaga product ang binabayaran ng ating mga customers. Yung servisyo po talaga. Kasi no matter how good your products are, pero the way you hand it over to your customers ay hindi maganda. Wala rin po talaga siya. So there po, so download na po kayo ng Motolite EFB.
Meron kami.
Okay, yung mga wala po, mag-download na yung mga meron na, thank you, kasi free lang naman po siya sa ating Google Play and App Store. Yeah. And yung service fee po namin, kapag naka-Motolite kayo na battery, free po siya. Like for overheating, flat tire, and emergency refuel. But for fuel, of course, you have to pay for the fuel price. Pero kung hindi naman po kayo naka-Motolite battery, mag-switch na po kayo. Pag hindi po kayo naka-Motolite battery, may fee po siya na 300 pesos for overheating, flat tire, and emergency refuel. Just for flat tire po, kailangan meron lang po kayong spare tire. So yun po yung wala po kami dala.
Nagsirap ko na yung time sa vehicles. Hindi ka kasya sa box.
Opo. At saka naman po kapag fuel po ang kailangan nyo at this stage, ang meron lang po kami ng Shell V-Power. And we can provide at least 4 liters po ng fuel. So overheating po, ang dala po namin ngayon ay 4 gallons ng water.
Catherine, since you brought up your refueling service, what are the modes of payment for the refueling service?
At this point, we actually accept card, debit, and credit, debit, GCash, and cash.
That's good to know, because when I ran out of fuel a couple of months back, the rider would only accept cash payment. So it's good to know that online payments are now acceptable.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you have questions about the rescue services so far?
Sir,
Nag-resume na po ba yung 24/7 service?
Yes po. So our rescue services are available 24/7, also na hotline. Kasi magkaibang channel po yung rescue app namin at the hotline. So parehas po siyang available 24/7. Even yung Facebook po namin available siya 24/7. Yes po, kunwari you don't need the service right now, we can do advance order for the next day or we can put it prefer. And if there are times po na hindi makakarating yung aming technician sa inyo, because maybe your area is too far and don't have a distributor in the area, bibigyan po namin kayo ng pinakamalapit na tindahan sa area ninyo para po mag-assist.
Clarification lang. Iba yung channel nung hotlines and the app,
Right.
but same services.
Yes
It's
po.
just the back end that's different.
Yeah. Bale ma'am, yung hotline po namin, parang backup po siya ng rescue, as I've mentioned po earlier, if you don't have an app, but you need an overheating assistance or flat tire, we can actually assist you and then we will let you know or will inform you that para mas madali po in the future, you have to download.
So for the hotline, wala pa siyang minutes.
Wala po. Because we have team leaders and supervisors monitoring din po naman yung operation.
We have very good this is experience with the hotline.
That's good to hear po. Thank you.
although right now, we really have to recommend that you use the Motolite Rescue. The reason why we are pushing for that is because security rin ng motorist yun. When we say security, ang dami kasi pwede mag-pretend na, oh, I came from this organization, ako yung pinulong sa'yo. Especially right now, di ba? Most of our drivers, I mean, let's accept the fact that most of our drivers are not really knowledgeable about their vehicles. Kasi cars are cheap now eh. Even a college student can actually buy a car. And then yet, if you ask them, asan yung owner's manual mo, they don't even know that. Diba? Magpalit na ng gulong. So, in terms of security, with the Motolite Rescue app kasi, similar to whatever you see in your roadside assistance, makikita niyo yung pangalan ng rider, makikita niyo yung plate number ng motor. So every time na papalapit siya sa'yo, itong ini-expect mo dapat sa'yo. Hindi ka makaka-expect dyan ng nakamotor daw na, let's say, ng Barako din, or saan din naka-big bike na ninja dumating. So magtataka ka na. Diba? So again, that's the beauty of the rescue app service. And siguro just to add to that, we are continuously expanding this. We hope that we will go nationwide by next year. But right now we are technically Luzon-wide. Okay?
Hindi na-download na.
Just transitioning from yung rescue app, obviously if you don't have a rescue app, we have other channels that are available. Hotline, our Express Kid hotlines, which are on the screen, and also the Express Kid through Facebook Messenger. So explain a little bit about our Express Kid service. We have Megan to share with us some of the things that we provide here. Above and beyond mere ordering, even inquiries and
As Kat mentioned earlier, we have this rescue app. We also have our hotline, wherein yung mga customer service agents namin are very knowledgeable about the products. And very courteous na rin. Even the riders that we have actually in our servicing, they're very knowledgeable about the cars, the battery types, and moreover, customer service actually. And the services that we offer actually are battery purchase, wherein we offer free battery installation and delivery, no extra charge on that. And then yung free battery check-up when you use the rescue app. Basta Motolite user po, we don't charge any fee. So yan, mag-Motolite na kayo. So yun po. We also offer yung kind of flat tires. Sa flat tire po, just to be clear, you need to have your spare tires. And if you'll ask po if nagpapavulcanize po ba yung riders namin when they come, the answer is no po. We are only trained po and assigned to help you change your tires. So yan, overheat and refueling po, we offer 4 liters, water for the overheat, and then for refuel, 4 liters. So if in case you'll ask about the mode of payments that we have cash, credit, card, debit card. In BDO, we also have 3 months installment at 0%. And GCash. And we also offer bank-to-bank transfer. So we also accept that. And then, moreover, we also offer our products not just automobiles, we also have motorcycle batteries, golf cart batteries, yung props. We also have batteries for those. Both, yung mga bangka, we also have that. And industrial batteries, kapuhan yung mga forklift. So we also have that. UPS battery. UPS battery.
Folks, this is May Guste, and she's the Motolite's head of Express Active Hub Operations. So please give her a round of applause.
Dapat naka-complete uniform yan. Very, pleasing to look at. And yun po, very knowledgeable and trained yan sa automotive batteries. And then, yun po, aside from our rescue app and Motolite hotline, you can also contact us sa Facebook Messenger at Motolite Express and yung mga nag-assist po sa inyo sa rescue app and the hotline, sila rin po yung mga agents na knowledgeable po. So mga technical yan, customer service, fire to claim, anytime so inquiries will be able to assist po. Plus, we also have our website, yung motolite.com. You can see there po, you contact us and then you will be directed po to us, either email or Facebook or kaya naman siguro the app. So, yun po, more than our products and our services that really counts.
nasasaktan natin si Ray dyan. Proud naman sa products din. May has already touched on it, but yes, we're also adding features to our website. So we have a new website, And in addition to the obviously contact numbers and how to download similar information, we've also upgraded our battery finder, so you can go onto the website and you can go and find your vehicle, put in the details, and it will recommend which battery is best for you. And it should also recommend the proper size for your vehicle, depending on make, model, and year. We will add additional tools and information on the website as we progress, including more information regarding our outlet coverage. So, Joe, would you like to take us briefly through a discussion of the outlet coverage?
Okay, so apart from services, kanina sinabi nga nila Miss May at saka nila Miss Kat na if ever rescue could not reach you because of your current location, Motolite happens to have the widest network of exclusive dealers to more than 2,000 outlets nationwide. Again, 2,000 outlets. Here's the difference, again, in terms of product. If you bought your battery here in Quezon City and then nagka-problema ka sa Mindanao, you find the Motolite Express at team will direct you to that outlet and then they will cover that warranty. Unlike, if you go for imported brands, you bought it here, nagkasira na sa Bicol, this is based on experience. Kasi sabihin sa iyo ng ibang brands, pakibalik na lang po sa Quezon City. So, that's a real story. That's a real story. So, that's our edge. That's our difference. No? It's not just the product, it's the services that we offer. So, with all that, I think
and that's a natural lead-in actually to my next item, which is launching our e-warranty solution. So there is a problem with that kind of thing. If it's all in paper, there's always a chance of mawala yung warranty nyo or mawala yung warranty sa files ng outlet or for some reason hindi umabot sa amin yung copy nyo. So we're trying to bring everything online. Anyway, almost everyone has at least one phone. Some people have more, right? So might as well keep updated with the time, and so that we're providing through the Motolite Rescue app the ability to claim your e-warranty online. So with the ability to scan for the newer batteries, you can scan in the QR code or the serial number, and then you should be able to see the battery recognized, and then you'll be able to associate your vehicle with it, and we'll update the database accordingly. There are several cases that I won't go into, but rest assured that we tend to massage it depending on whether partially or completely filled in already, because more often than not, naka-encode na rin yung battery nyo sa database, especially sa mga exclusive outlets. But we want to be sure, and we want to put that power into the hands of our customer as well, just in case napagod that day yung responsible na mag-renew. So you can make sure that your warranty is online. And if you have any problems, you can always contact us through the prior Express Admin hotlines or messenger. But this also means that, because of the way in which the rescue app is done, you can have your family members also download the app, and then the e-warranty for each vehicle is also associated with that. So no matter who takes the vehicle, with authorization or not, at least covered sila by the e-warranty na. At basta, nandito yung cellphone nyo, tapos nandiyan yung e-warranty. So if anything happens, not just obviously battery related, but tire problems, gas problems, overheating, at least they can be covered. And of course, they have the hotline numbers in case there's other aid that they require from our team. So this, the e-warranty is something that we are rolling out, and we're really trying to drive more and more people, because we need the help also of the customers to make sure that they are covered by our e-warranty. Since we have given so many other options to get a hold of us, it's just going to make it faster. If we know that you're already in the database, we can check right away and say, yes, you are our customer, this is your battery, this is your license plate, we are on our way to help you. And with that, we actually have, as the last thing, we wanted to mention that we actually have an ongoing e-warranty registration raffle promo ongoing. So, the way this works is that when you purchase a battery from our outlets, we're working on some other mechanics which will allow you to get more entries if you register via warranty, but that has to be approved at this point by the July. Right? But if you buy batteries, you have a chance to win. Monthly draws, we have prizes, which is KFC gift certificates and a Samsung Galaxy. Well, it used to be an A50, but that's apparently no longer in stock. So it's the A52, I think, now that is the monthly grand prizes. And then there will be quarterly prizes for the green light EV cycles that is part of the another branch of the activities of Motolite and Vanguard. It's an electric vehicle, the green light EV cycle, and then the grand prize for the end of the year of this promo is a Toyota Fortuner.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So you can find more. You can find more information on the website, and we'll update you as soon as we get those mechanics approved by the so that people who claim that they warranties will have additional raffle entries to join. Oh, bawal kami. Bawal kami.
Hindi, raffle entry na yun mo eh.
So that's it for our services presentation. Are there any questions regarding anything regarding the services that we've tackled already?
Medyo, yeah, a different topic. Is there any chance of Motolite going into EVs and or making lithium batteries?
Yes, there is a chance. In fact, as we mentioned before, we're constantly looking at these kind of things, right? We're not tackling it at this press con, right? But I will say that we are looking at it because it is it's a next step technology. One of the things that we are looking at closely, not just in terms of the development of the battery, but because of, but we're also looking at the recycling of the batteries. We didn't mention it here, but we are very much interested in the 1:1 recycling of all of our lead acid batteries, which is why we offer the trade-in for lead acid batteries. It doesn't matter if it's Motolite or not. When you purchase your new battery, we'll give you a trade-in discount on your lead acid battery, because we want to recycle the triple threat of lead acid batteries, which is lead, plastic, and acid. So we don't want that just in anybody's backyard or nasa bahay nyo or whatever. We take that very seriously. Lithium is a challenge at this point in terms of recycling. So in addition to looking at the technologies that are fairly challenging in terms of designing and developing the batteries ourselves, and then manufacturing it with a consistent level of quality, and making sure that we have adequate sources for the various components and the elements that are needed to get the lithium in particular, but I think cobalt depending on the chemistry that we use, right? So we're looking at all those challenges, but we are looking into it because we would ultimately want to be able to provide that to our customers. But right now, we have no straightforward commitment. We are dipping our feet into it because we're actually already providing some lithium batteries to specific applications. Okay, so there's call centers that we provide them to, and for use in some EVs, right? We have been providing it already because we are familiarizing ourselves first with the technology and the manufacturing technology. Any other questions? Any other questions?
No more questions? We would like to thank the Media Blitz Group, Motolite's media PR handler, headed by Ms. Jenny Caberte, for organizing this press conference. So thank you, Alex, May, Ray, Jerome, and Kat, for sharing your knowledge and first-hand experience. With this, we hope that you now have a better understanding of how Motolite is committed to upgrading our individual motoring experience by offering the best products, and services anywhere in the Philippines around the clock. So, on behalf of Motolite, we wish you less stress and safe journeys during the holidays. And once again, this has been Stephen Yu of C Magazine.